Hello and welcome to our APUSH Unit 3 review video on George Washington and his roles in the American Revolution. The essential questions for this topic are: how did George Washington become involved with the American Revolution? What were his main roles within the Revolution? And why is he credited with the victory of it? George Washington had a lot of initial involvement within the Revolution. First, he was a delegate in the First Continental Congress in Philadelphia in 1774. Then, at the Second Continental Congress, he was appointed Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army in 1775. On the left here is a depiction of what the Second Continental Congress may have looked like. His role of being Commander-in-Chief was nominated by John Adams, and he designated the overall war strategy with Congress having independence be the main focus and priority. Here is what George Washington would have looked like in traditional military clothing. He believed it was in the colony's best interest to gain independence from England. This is partially due to him being affected by British taxation in the 1760s. George Washington also had many roles within the war. He was a commander throughout the Revolution, meaning that he had a very large leading military role. He was in charge of selecting and guiding generals, along with providing training, food, ammunition, and supplies to his troops. The troops that George Washington led severely lacked these items, and therefore his providing of them and his leadership was extremely significant in the prosperity of the troops and how well they did in the Revolution. He also later contributed to writing the U.S. Constitution, which is here shown on the right.
George Washington's persona and impact. George Washington possessed many strong skills of leadership, motivation, and direction that heavily contributed to the victory of the American Revolution, despite previous experience commanding large military forces. These skills were essential for the Revolutionary War. George Washington was also seen as a symbol of resistance to the British Crown. He was the representative man of the Revolution and also seen as a national hero. George Washington's way about his presidency also inspired future presidents. For example, he declined to serve a third term, which set a precedent for future U.S. presidents. George Washington's direct actions in the war. George Washington fought in 17 Revolutionary battles total. His most important battles included the Siege of Boston, when British had control over Boston, and Washington pushed his untrained fighting forces to their full potential, leading them to victory. This was his first Revolutionary battle and his first victory in the Revolutionary War. His last Revolutionary battle was the Siege of Yorktown. He was supported by French forces, and him and his troops defeated the British in Yorktown, Virginia. This victory directly led to the peace negotiations that ended the Revolutionary War in 1783. George Washington contributed to many wins in the Revolutionary War, and without him, they may not have been able to win the Revolutionary War. Winning the war. George Washington is ultimately responsible for the coordination and winning of the Battle of Yorktown. He moved French and American forces south from New York in order to join Lafayette's American troops and engage Cornwallis at Yorktown. The Siege of Yorktown was the final battle of the Revolution, with the Americans beating the British. And his Yorktown victory, leadership skills, and good ideas ultimately led to the Americans winning the Revolutionary War and gaining independence from Britain. Thank you for watching.